Good morning, judges, ladies and gentlemen. As members of a global village, we are all aware of the profound impact of the earthquake, tsunami, and subsequent nuclear meltdown in Japan. The tsunami flooded Japan's coastal areas, devastating lives and livelihoods. The world economy has also been affected, stock markets impacted, and global supply chains hampered. Yet, history has repeatedly testified that crises can bring about opportunities. Firstly, while the Fukushima 50 rescue workers struggle to save their fellow citizens, the world has been amazed and inspired by the remarkable discipline and stoical forbearance of the Japanese people. They are maintaining a social order and providing an impressive example of resilience in unimaginable circumstances. In contrast to the public panic we sometimes see in other places, their calmness in the face of tragedy and their unselfish concern for the welfare of others are an inspiration to all of us. Secondly, no country can evade the consequences of a nuclear devastation because we live in a global village. The world's nuclear nations, including China, must collaborate to review this recent incident concerning nuclear safety in detail, and with regard to every nuclear installation on the planet. Finally, we must be certain that the latest disaster warning technologies are developed and effective contingency plans designed. Nature has continuously educated us in harsh realities of life. Humans have no right to dominate the natural environment with technology, but rather have a duty to protect the ecosystem. In conclusion, we are all in the same boat. We need to ensure that we are rowing in the same direction toward a long-term sustainable development of the world. What matters most in Hong Kong is that we must cooperate extensively with the wider international community. Let us be inspired by the Japanese mindset of calmness, compassion, patience, and perseverance in the face of suffering. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. JIN. Now, Mr. Seaton will be asking a question related to your speech.
Mr. JIN, thank you very much for your presentation. You said it was important to learn lessons from particularly the nuclear aspects of the disaster in Japan. In recent years, a lot of countries around the world have announced plans to install more nuclear power generation. Do you think that following the Japan incident, it's time for countries to think again about those plans?
I think it is the time for countries to think about the plans, because this nuclear disaster has incited, of course, acute hostility to nuclear power. I think they should develop other kinds of alternative energy, such as solar energy, and that they should stop all plans of making nuclear power plants because of the drastic consequences of these devastation, such as radioactive leakage, the thermal pollution, or maybe the improper disposal of nuclear waste. So in conclusion, the country should not try and use nuclear power, but use other kinds of alternative energy. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Another question from Ms. Anstus.
Thank you, Mr. JIN. These days, when young people are asked who their heroes are, a lot will name a pop star or celebrity. Besides contemporary celebrities, what kinds of people do you think that young people should be taking as their heroes? And who would you say is your personal hero and why?
I think the heroes of young people should be, because scientists, they have facilitated the scientific development of the world and brought us to this point that we are in such a civilized and high-tech society. The scientist I like the best and as my hero is Albert Einstein, because he was like in the Times magazine, he was a person of the century and he invented relativity. Even though I don't quite understand relativity yet. But I'm sure I will. We should learn from these scientists and how they endeavored to do this research and helped our society. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. JIN. You may now take a seat. Please remain silent while our judge comments. Let us